The hope is that all this data collection will mean that real-world problems can be reassessed and new angles explored. A case in point, dolphin and whale stranding. Could this accumulated satellite data help address the problem? Cape Cod in the US state of Massachusetts is home to one of the most frequent marine mammal stranding sites in the world.
If we can get there quickly and provide supportive care, they have a much better prognosis in terms of survival.
Scientists know very little about why these mammals strand, and only a quick and efficient response in these events will save lives. Katie Moore works on the front line and has fine-tuned rescue efforts.
If we can develop an algorithm that pieces together the different variables that may be causing mass strandings or driving mass strandings, then we have the ability to then prevent them. We can have teams that are out on the shore looking for animals in those hotspots, knowing that all those variables have come together and this is the likely point in time where we're likely to see it. But we can also have teams ready to respond so that if they do strand, we're there that much faster and more animals will survive the event.
Marine biologists from the US Bureau of Ocean Energy Management were also looking at this problem.
For the large proportion of these strandings, the animals are across the ages, in pretty good health, and there's no really immediate evidence as to why they actually strand.
One possibility is geomagnetic perception, the ability to navigate using Earth's magnetic field, which is believed to be used by marine mammals. Could changes in the magnetic field confuse the animal? Geomagnetic pulses or storms can be caused by space weather.
Geomagnetic perception is one of the theories, and I thought, well, if a magnetometer can pick it up, maybe the animals actually can pick it up.
Dr. Reed consulted with NASA at the Goddard Space Flight Center.
The coolest thing was that we realized that nobody had really taken a cold, hard data science analysis look at the problems.
What we were trying to look at here was if there was a potential driver or relationship or correlation between the occurrence of mass strandings and any solar activity.
The data that we have correlated or analyzed so far is information about the local geomagnetic conditions. We have long data records from geophysical observatories of the local geomagnetic field variations and marine mammal stranding.
Their analysis was inconclusive. They needed more data from other environmental conditions.
Easy fix correlation between a geomagnetic pulse and, a stranding doesn't seem to be very evident, but what it does show is that there are multiple variables involved in this equation, and that the geomagnetic storms could just be one very small part of it. Significant still, but it looks like there are multiple oceanographic and environmental elements.
With more data in hand, it was time to expand the team. They recruited statisticians and the expertise of NASA Earth Science data analyst and oceanographer Erdem Karakolu.
A data set, no matter its shape or content, always has a story to tell. Trying to figure out how different data are connected, I think, require a wide diversity of skills and background knowledge.
For example, I'll be explaining how a mass stranding occurs and how we respond to try and understand why I'm presenting the data in a certain way. And my colleagues from NASA will look at me and ask questions that I wouldn't think to ask because I take for granted my understanding, and they're coming at it from a totally new angle with no background.
These data sets may reveal a pattern, allowing scientists to predict the likelihood and location of mass stranding before it happens.
We've really just sort of slowly peeled the first layer of this onion back. And I think that there's so many more layers that still need to be addressed and looked at. And I hope that we can actually find additional collaborators, additional funding partners to really bring all the data that's really available to really give this the study and the scrutiny that it deserves.
And we are also going to make all these data sets available to the entire scientific community so that we can utilize the entire scientific community to take attack and approach this problem.
I think that there will be other things to take and run with, get new ideas, maybe add more data. And I'm hoping also that it will be a model for how projects can then be open to the wider public.
The ability to release animals after they've stranded is tremendous. When we do that, I mean, that's the best feeling in the world after all of that hard work.
Those questions that seem unanswerable, if you give them time and support and effort and put people on them, we can do amazing things.